Hey, what is up, people? It's Zain. Real quickly, I wanted to talk about how picking a lawyer is not that easy, right? And when you do get a lawyer, that lawyer may not be the one for you, right? There's a lot of lawyers out there, and you have to have your own lawyer. You have to see if that lawyer fits you, right? Fits with your personality, fits with what you're doing, fits with how you are, your personality aligns with how uh, that lawyer is, and that lawyer's personality aligns with you. So, what do I mean by all of this, right? Pretty much when you go seek out a lawyer and that lawyer consults with you, that lawyer is consulting to see if he'll take your case. What you're doing at the same time is you're seeing if you're going to get along with that lawyer, if you want that lawyer to take your case. You don't just go in there as a client and sit there hoping that this lawyer takes your case. You're also interviewing and consulting with this lawyer to see if this lawyer is right for you, so you don't have issues down the road with this lawyer, right? Some of the issues you might have is that this lawyer stops communicating with you, right? Or this lawyer throws a fit all of a sudden or withdraws from your case, and you weren't able to tell because instead of you evaluating the lawyer as well, you were sitting there just lollygagging and telling the lawyer your situation without taking into consideration if you would get along with this lawyer as well, right? So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you will get along with this lawyer as well, right? Because what do I mean by getting along, right? But what I mean by getting along is that if hold on, let me get out of here. I know it's kind of getting kind of loud, but what I mean is you getting a lot along with the lawyer is that when you say something, it should flow smoothly, right? You should always be yourself when you're talking to a lawyer because lawyers are human beings just like you are, just like anybody else is. So you need to always be yourself, right? And what you need to see is if that lawyer appreciates you for who you are. So if you're in there consulting with the lawyer and that lawyer is not giving you positive feedback, he's making faces, he's like, oh, you need to change yourself, oh, I can't take this, you can kind of tell that the cooperation's not going smoothly. You can pick up on the conversation and the communication you're having, right? Kind of like with dating or your friends, like some people you can tell that you're going to have a hard time with, like this friend you're going to have a hard time with getting along with and whatnot, right? So it's kind of like that. The communication needs to flow smoothly, especially like even when you're dating somebody or you're meeting somebody new, right? If they're like, if it feels like you're pulling teeth, guys, it feels like you're putting in a lot of effort, you're putting in a lot of communication, and they're not giving you any positive feedback, they're not giving that same effort, they're just kind of like there, because they're there for entertainment. They're there because they're bored. They just want to use you and have a good time. Kind of like that with the lawyer. If you feel like that this lawyer is not giving you positive feedback, it's kind of just there because he wants your money or just wants to take on your case or treat you like a case number. That's when you don't pick that lawyer. All right, you want to make sure that that lawyer is also right for you. That's why you go to the consultation. You're both trying to see if you're both right for each other, not just seeing if that lawyer is right for you, right? Not just going in there hoping that that lawyer will take on your case. Another thing is when you are talking and trying to interview that lawyer during that consultation, you're trying to see if both of you guys will get along. Is that sometimes you'll be able to immediately tell, like, this lawyer is just kind of like playing me, he's not really in it for my best situation, is kind of like bullshitting around, doesn't want to really take my case, or that I'm not going to be treated fairly with this lawyer, as in like he's not going to give me the time of day whenever I call. You don't pick that lawyer, you pick somebody else that you want, okay? That's what you're doing. And if like what I said, the communication should flow smoothly, right? You should always be yourself, and that lawyer should always be themselves, and y'all should just click. And if you feel like y'all aren't clicking because the conversation's a dead end, that lawyer is giving you advice as in what you did wrong, or he's putting blame on you, and just has an attitude with you, you shouldn't really take that lawyer. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I know that there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot of stuff going on where people are like, I don't like my lawyer. Lawyers don't really answer, don't really communicate very well. And that's partly why, because you pick a lawyer just because you think they're a lawyer. You go with them, and you get stuck. You don't do your due diligence. You don't figure out, hey, this lawyer is not right for me. Do you do that with dating girls, right? Do you do that with girls? Like when you're dating a girl, do you just automatically just date any girl even when she's not giving you the time of day? Do you keep going on dates with her? I hope not, guys. I hope not. You don't keep going on dates with the same girl when she's giving you a hard time, when she's not doing what you want her to do, when she's not listening to you, when she's not cooperating with you, right? You don't do that uh, with your friends, right? If your friends tell you they're going to meet you somewhere and they don't show up, and you're there, and the next day you show up to that, you may plan to meet it again, and then you show up again, and then it turns out that friend ditched you. You don't do that, right? You guys don't do that. So why would you do that with a lawyer, right? You need to be able to communicate well with that lawyer, and usually you can tell right off the bat. You can tell as soon as you talk to that lawyer if you're going to get along with them or not. First impressions matter a lot, and you should be able to tell by the first impression if you guys are going to get along or not, right? During that first meeting. But if it feels like you're not getting along, the conversation's not going anywhere, don't pick that lawyer, guys. Do not pick that lawyer. Go with somebody else, all right? And now, what might happen is that you might discover that that lawyer later on is not giving you, like, that everything was fine in the beginning, but in the middle, that lawyer is starting to give you a hard time. Or in the middle, that lawyer is kind of like drifting away from you, and the communication isn't smooth, you know? What you can do is have a conversation with that lawyer, explain your situation. You can always fire your lawyer, guys. I want you to know that. You can always get rid of your lawyer if you don't like your lawyer, right? Do I recommend that? It's up to you guys. But sometimes what will happen is that lawyer made a great impression in the beginning, but in the middle of everything, that lawyer is not giving you the time of day, is not listening to you, or the communication's falling apart or drifting away. So what do you do in that situation? You talk to that lawyer, try to figure out what's going on, what you need to do, and go from there.